It's a real revolution in terms of investment banking and finance in general. I think that the cryptocurrencies will have become the greatest innovation of the last 500 to 1,000 years since the invention of banking and the invention of the printing press. That'd just be an amazing future to live in.
Cardano explicitly intends to become the most decentralized cryptocurrency blockchain in existence.
It's a real revolution in terms of investment banking and finance in general. I think that the cryptocurrencies will have become the greatest innovation of the last 500 to 1,000 years since the invention of banking and the invention of the printing press. That'd just be an amazing future to live in.
Cardano explicitly intends to become the most decentralized cryptocurrency blockchain in existence.
And can you hear me? A little frog there. Let me know down below if you can hear me, because then we got 50% of this little show going. But first of all, let me know, how are you lovely, sexy looking people doing on this wonderful Sunday? And remember, this stream is only for the sexy looking people.
This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people.
We got my soul brother Shahid Amit in the house, who's been here since we started this the tiniest, the littlest crypto channel on the interweb. But you know, I feel, you know, when I see things going on in the chat, that gives me, like, you know, confidence. Thomas is here. Thank you so much. Harris is here. Good to see you. And we got, I think, a new friend, Ritesh Triverdi. I hope I said pronounce it correctly. Crypto Yoga, how are you doing? Not looking so sexy today. I tried to put crypto to sleep. It said never. And it certainly is. And we're going to jump right into it. I think it's about time that we talk about Cardano, right? There are many opportunities, but there are also some things where I think that Charles Hoskinson, he's lagging behind. But let me just see who else is here. PC, how are you doing? Got Chit-Chat Cherry, she's here. Chit-Chat Cherry actually took the time to go out of the, you know, she actually sits down at that, you know, titty bar playing flamenco just around the corner from Kakadu, in case you want to know where Jerry is. Good, she's here though. Selma Riemann, how are you doing? Good to see you. Cardano will be the most stable coin on the earth. It will replace USD. Well, that is, I mean, here's a I don't know if that's going to be, but I do believe that Cardano has extraordinary potential. One of the four musketeers, right? Remember, one of the four musketeers is obviously we got that fellow from Russia, Vitalik, but then we got Joseph Lubin, who is the main man behind consensus and most of the applications we're seeing on Ethereum. Then we got Robinhood, Gavin Wood, right? Who is as we all know, the founder of Polkadot. We spoke about that. And then, of course, we have Charles Hoskinson. And I really believe that these four miracle men, they're bound to overtake the world. And there's one really, really interesting, let's say, point of opportunity with Cardano they're going to spin that we might not see with Polkadot and Ethereum. So there is something that I really like about Charles, and that is the fact that he's not a great believer of the CBDC. Because one thing is damn sure, Ethereum is a big believer in the CBDC, and Polkadot was also invited by the World Economic Forum and have been mentioned there. So this gives some extraordinary, I would say, not only potential, but also this good feel that why we all like Charles Hoskinson so much, right? Feels like a fella we want to go out and have a couple of Bahama Mamas with. Speaking about a Bahama Mama, here we go, with fresh rosemary today. So let's just have a little Bahama Mama moment. It's Sunday, right? And as they say in Russian, Праздник means it's a holiday. Bahama Mama. Okay, guys, I think it's time to get started. It's not going to be so sophisticated, I think, since Cardano, everybody's been talking about Cardano, right? So I thought we were going to go through the stages. It is also their 5th anniversary. And then also what potential the future could hold. But in the end of the day, I really have to say, everything I'm going to say today is not financial advice, because I really do not have a real clue about certain things. I do, but how big Cardano is going to be, that I do not know. Okay, guys, so let's start, and I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel, you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then please hit like, smash, subscribe, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and it is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I love Cardano.
Hello Africa, tell me how you doing. Hello motherland, tell me how you doing. Hello Africa, tell me how you doing. Hello motherland, tell me how you doing.
I love that, I love that transition, and I actually believe it has a lot of value. Africa has huge potential. Anyway, some people are saying, some smart forecasters, I actually believe them though, they're saying that by 2027, the global blockchain market will be worth close to 70 billion. Now, obviously, today, blockchain is legitimized in many industries, and this is what we are seeing, right? We see the transition from traditional to digital. So over 70 million blockchain wallets have already been registered. Now, these numbers here that I'm talking today, because I'm referring a little bit to an article, just a little bit, so they may be a little bit old. But anyway, more than 70 million blockchain wallets. So technology, as we have seen, it can not only revolutionize governments, finance, insurance, and personal identity security, which is among the hundreds of, let's say, the fields that the Web 3.0 or the blockchain is actually all about. We also see the blockchain as being the evolution of the internet, right? It is the internet 3.0. So let me just say this again. Technology or the blockchain can revolutionize government, finance, insurance, and personal identity security. Did I say personal identity security? That's the next big thing that's going to come. It's been completely overseen. So yeah, just want to say that. So these are among the 100 new fields that are among traditional industries, but also infrastructure that is needed within the future of finance or the Web 3.0. So recently, not that long ago, not like yesterday, but a few months ago, IBM they have actually invested more than $200 million in research into the technology. In addition, more than 90% of European and US banks are researching the technology. And that is really, really true. Today we're going to speak mostly about Cardano. However, I'm also going to talk a little bit about the industry overall, and then we are going to, try to find some comparisons between Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Little Mama, and Solana. If there's a difference, and who do we think has the real potential? So, what can I say? Let's dig into it. But before we move on, as always, we need, it's Sunday, right? We need to look at the level of market manipulation. I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. Too many Bahama Mamas? No, I don't think so. Anyway, let's go. So here we are. I have also not looked at it today. I always like to look at the four charts next to each other, simply because, look at it. I always like to point out this market manipulation. And I was one of the first channels that actually brought it up. Now, we were not really able to identify really when it happened, or, in order to foresee when it happens. But as you can see here, it's just, they move, they're highly correlated. What can we say? Manipulation of the finest correlation. But let's look at BTC, because we like to look at the 7-day moving average on the weekly, and Sunday, right? Is ending soon. So what did this last week here give us? Well, it was an up week. Again, we're looking at BTC moving, 7-day moving average weekly. What is still amazing to see is that last week had really, look at the volume. Look at the volume. This is the highest volume. Talk about inflation maybe, right? That's Putin. I don't know. But this was the highest volume week. Let me put me away. Yeah, right. I don't think you need to see me, because then you can't see the volume, right? Look at that. Look at that. Lots of volume, right? So volume goes two ways. Right? So we've been seeing Bitcoin shifting hands. But what I like to point out is that we closed, even though it was an up week, right? We closed below the 7-day moving average. As long as we stay below the 7-day moving average, we're going lower. And you know what? That's all the technical analysis you need to know. It is as simple as that. But just in case you really want to understand what's behind the market, who is, manipulating the market, what is, why should you be a day trader, or should you be a swing trader, or should you not be a trader? But if you want to understand more about the markets and who's making the market, you need to go and look at Traders Reality. I like Tino, it's very entertaining, and he's on it, and he gives you a lot of insight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation. Mad love and respect to every single one of you beautiful people.
I like Tino. Anyway, we also need to look at Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum weekly. Also the same, right? We had an up week. The volume, however, and this is interesting, we're seeing that the volume in Ethereum hasn't really increased as much. So that's really a Bitcoin phenomenon at the moment. But that is good. That could actually, it's kind of like fundamental strength. But anyway, I still believe we could see a further down to the 12,000 in Bitcoin, and I think around maybe 700, 800 with Ethereum. Let's look at Cardano, because I have the feeling that Cardano has been hovering around this 40, between 40 to 50 cent. That's also actually a lot, right? But here, I don't really look at the 7-day moving average on the weekly. Cardano did not have an up week, but I think that these are two different things. I think at the moment, Cardano shouldn't be viewed as a overall, let's say, market, how do you say, a market, like NASDAQ, and like an index, right? Bitcoin is the market mover. We look at Bitcoin where it could hit the next week, but Cardano is still doing its own thing. Okay, guys, I think it's time that we, go and say hello to the chat, and then we're going to go in and talk about Cardano, if that's okay with you. And let me know where you are and how you are this Sunday. It's important. Oh yeah, I can see we got new people, new friends, new lions. Lee Prince is here. Motherland is Africa, and I love that intro song there. Every time I get a copyright claim from Dr. Alban, the Swedish dentist. You remember him? Stay humble, 777. How are you? It's good to see you, and it is true. Stay humble. That could actually be my dad almost. Yeah, Cryptostan. I love it. I love it. Cryptostan's also been around for a long, long time. I think since the beginning. Hamid, Ansar Hamid is one of the Shahid's team. What do we got? Bakamono. No one knows. What no one knows? How long will this bear market last? Yeah, Tigerman, that is a really, really good question that we will try to talk a little bit in the end of the video. But remember, yeah, sometimes I also do videos about what we can expect. And I expect I've said that before, 2023 could be the end. But remember, timing is a real, real difficult thing. Perhaps the most difficult thing every investor, except the ones that manipulate the market. It is really difficult. Vax, my good friend, Fran, Disney's beautiful. He was just, Fran, he was, the Vax, he was in Disney World. And if I didn't have my own personal problems, I would have been there too, right? Disney World is wonderful. It's for every age. It is wonderful. This is my first bear market, Tiger Man. I will talk about that in the end. Let's get to what matters. How are you, Dark Matter? Good to see you. Let's get Cardano. It's going to be a little bit of an introduction. So for those of you who are new to Cardano or, don't really, so it's basic, let's say, basic. However, many things have happened, and that's why I believe it is important. After the Cardano presentation, we're going to look a little bit about comparing them. So I think that's quite interesting in order to kind of get the feel what the potential could look like when we compare with Ethereum, Polkadot, and Solana. First of all, Cardano currently trading at around 43 cents. That means it's down 86% from its all-time high. Could potentially generate 615% if it's going to go up to its all-time high. However, and this is also for you, Tiger Man, when you say it's your first bear market, usually when we see, it's a good time to get in though. Usually when we go back to the all-time highs, we usually see the price increase 3 times. Like last time we saw Bitcoin at 20,000, in the last bear market high in 2018, and then in 2021 we saw it at 60,000. So 20,000 times 3, right? So potentially that's pattern. That is not financial advice. I don't know shit about crypto, but usually that's what has been around. So actually more than 615%. However, are the base layers really where you want to invest your money? Do you really want to invest in the base layer like Cardano, like Ethereum, like Polkadot, like Solana? Or do you actually want to invest in the industries that are going to migrate onto the blockchain? That's also what perhaps you are too late, not too late, but these huge opportunities, they're simply not there, right? Even if we look outside Ethereum today, it's around whatever, 1,500. Well, I got in at $11, right? It's never going to go there again. So, yeah. Anyway, so after several delays, and we have to say this has been a little bit of a problem for Charles or for Cardano, right? There's been many delays and many setbacks, but finally we saw the vessel upgrade and it went live on September the 22nd. So the hard fork is designed to help improve the ecosystem scalability and general transaction throughput capacity, as well as advance Cardano's decentralized application development capacity. Now, in the beginning, when I started, looking into the blockchain, I it's very hard for me to understand all this programming terminology. And actually, you don't need to, right? I mean, do you really understand how the phone works or how the engine in the car works? Or I don't. And as long as you kind of, understand a little bit how this technology works, well, then it's good. So very simplistic said, the blockchain is nothing else than basically, like if you want to compare it to old school, it's like having an Excel sheet. It's a ledger, right? So Cardano is a ledger, Polkadot is a ledger, Ethereum is a ledger. And then when we combine that with that beautiful word of interoperability, that simply means that we can, like one ledger could be an Excel, the other ledger could be, Google Sheets, but that they can, send each other information instantly. And when we say it's on the blockchain, usually it also means that, that it is decentralized and it will kind of always stay there. It's on the blockchain, stored on the blockchain. So you don't need to make it too complicated in understanding technology, what you need to understand is the company good, the people behind it, which governments are using which blockchain, and Klaus Schwab, good uncle, the World Economic Forum, which blockchains are they going to base the future of finance, which CBDCs. So Cardano's been taking a while, but finally. So I thought it would be interesting today to make a summary of these 5 stages that have been implemented. 5 years it took, and where we are now, because it seems that Cardano is really now getting ready to fight the other big ones. So first of all, happy 5th anniversary to Charles. What a lovely guy. Also the way that he just gives himself, right? He's a man that you trust. Anyway, he must like, I don't even know what we call this, artists and who they are. I really don't know. I know a lot about things, but this I do not know. So he has chosen to call the first step the Byron Foundation. So build the foundation. So we're talking about Cardano, right? The blockchain. First things was build the foundation for a peer-reviewed open source 3rd generation blockchain. They were looking to challenge phasing blockchain network scalability into operability and sustainability. Now, this is also the things whenever there's come other blockchains out. We have always spoken in 2018 and 2019 and 2020 especially, we're speaking about this new blockchain that is quicker, faster, cheaper, more decentralized, right? And that's what it's always been about. It's been about scalability, that you can have the highest amount of transactions per second, and interoperability is that you can be a client of Bank of America, but if you go and purchase something else, they can read your ledger, your bank account on Bank of America through Visa, and therefore you can go and buy at every shops. It's a simplistic way of describing it. The third thing that they wanted to do initially was to build a community involved in creating the blockchain of the future. That's where I think that Cardano has done the greatest work, really building up a community. Everybody loves Cardano, everybody loves Charles, they're proud of it, and I think that is really probably the secret sauce, because Joseph Lubin, you don't really know who he is. Vitalik, he has the charm of, he's not such a charming fella, right? But people, when they see Charles, they like Charles. And this charisma is important. And that is also why the Cardano community is the loveliest and biggest community of all blockchains. So then the second step that we had was called Shelly. And that was all about decentralization. So they had increased nodes run by network participants, enhancing decentralization, security, and robustness, with emphasis on delegation and incentives through its proof of stake system, which powers the Cardano blockchain and empowers our community. It's very important here. It's very important that I lose a few words here. Decentralization. Remember, everybody who got on the DeFi wave, we're talking about decentralized finance. Now, we will, and I said it, and it took me a while to share that with everyone, but the blockchain and Ethereum, and for that matter, Polkadot, can also be used to be very centralized. And the governments that are working with them are very much looking for the centralized blockchain, which is also called the permissioned blockchain. So when we look at Ethereum, and probably the CBDC will be a project on Ethereum, but it will be a permissioned protocol, meaning, yes, the foundation will be Ethereum, but it will be a permissioned, a centralized protocol. So yes, you can have decentralization, but Polkadot and Ethereum people are talking about it, but they haven't, they're okay to work with the big boys. Now, Charles, on the other hand, I really believe that means something to him. So he's the man that gives us the hope. He's the one of the few good guys, right? Not selling himself short. So that's why it's important, because he really believes in decentralization. So did Vitalik, so did Joseph, so did Gavin Wood. But, when the World Economic Forum and when the Bank for International Settlements, they come knocking, well, then you forget the D and focus on decentralized. Anyway, so the third step was Gojin, and that was all about smart contracts. So it was that they needed to make Cardano, the Cardano protocol, smart. No, smart contract capabilities, multi-currency dApps and smart contracts again. So they needed to have the ability to build a wider range of decentralized applications, also called dApps, and integrated customs applications. So what is a smart contract? Well, a smart contract is basically, can be any kind of contract that, however, can be initiated on the blockchain between two or many various parties. I'm just going to give small examples, right? So it can be that you want to book, you want to buy a cinema ticket, right? That's in a form that's also a smart contract, right? You go in, you purchase, you choose where you want to sit, you purchase your seat, you get a ticket. That is actually a smart contract if it is on the blockchain and if it is being executed without any centralized nor human interference. So therefore, smart contracts, which is the foundation of everything we're doing. Whenever you send coins to somebody else, whenever you purchase, whenever you buy an NFT, everything underlying is smart contracts. So of course, these smart contracts, they need to be interoperable with all protocols and other big blockchains. Then we went on to, I hope I pronounce it right, Basho. Then we went on to the thing about scaling. And scaling, again, important, right? Because, you know, for example, companies like Visa and MasterCard, right? They can do, I don't know how many thousands transactions per second. However, it's more difficult when it has to be on the blockchain. So the current era of Cardano was all about scaling. So focus on, well, they just ended that, I believe, yeah. Focus on optimizing and improving the scalability and interoperability of the network. Introduce parallel accounting methods using side chains and support new kinds of use cases. When you hear here, when you see here down here on the third line, when you hear side chains, right? That's a little bit also what, of course, what Polkadot is doing with their parachains, right? It's basically all the same, but they use different words. Then we have Voltaire, right? And I think, isn't it Voltaire that just ended? So the final era where Cardano becomes a self-sustaining ecosystem was ended with Voltaire. I don't know, was he a great musician or something? Anyway, so they're introducing a voting and treasury system. And this is where network participants will be able to use their stake in voting rights to influence the future development of the network. This was also something that was important, right? You need governments, you need to be actually able to vote on the blockchain. Now, the benefit of this is that, for example, all this chaos we've had in the United States when, you know, I asked Uncle Joe and said, how the fuck did you become the president? Because you so clearly didn't win, did you?
I have no idea.
So the thing is that if once voting will be on the blockchain, connected to your digital ID on the blockchain, voting, governing will be so much easier. So really quick again to summarize these 5 steps, the development eras. The first one was the foundation. You know, needed to set it up and talk about setting up a good blockchain network, right? A digital ledger. The second thing that we have heard so much about was DeFi, decentralization. It was important to have a blockchain that was not centralized like a government is or like the current monetary system is. That's why it's important to have decentralization. Then smart contracts. This is where we have a contract between each other, and also NFTs is very much the foundation behind an NFT. It's a smart contract. That's what it is. And then scaling. We need to be fast, and we need to be able to take us huge quantities in, right? And then in the end, it was that we can issue our own coins, our own laws, and that it will all be stored on the blockchain. I mean, I think this calls for a Bahama Mama moment, and hello for the chat, right? It is Sunday, so we take a little more, you know, take a little slower. I hope that's okay with you. Cheers. Bahama Mama. Yeah. So anybody here, let me know if you have any questions or you think what I'm doing a bad job. What do you say, Marshall? I was thinking about Eminem. Is this you also you know, you're also welcome to say, did I do it in baby steps, or you knew it all, or does it make more sense? Because I can tell you guys, it took me a long time in order to understand what is actually going on. And if any of all you 23 sexy looking lions haven't hit the like and the subscribe, then please do that, right? Maybe there's 2 or 3 left. Anyway, let's move on. So to the next chapter of the Cardano ecosystem. Now remember, every ecosystem will more or less be the same, right? As we said, they need to have all these errors, these levels, these capabilities. And then we talk about the protocols, the platforms that will then develop. Thank you, Shahid. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm always 20 seconds behind you in the chat, so I ask, and then if somebody answers, then you know I'm already here. Anyway, so we can see here that Cardano, they have, of course, many projects in many, you know, in the pipeline. I'm not gonna go through them all. You know, you should go in and you should look at them. There are many. Some of them are gonna succeed. Some of them are not gonna succeed. Some of them are not even going to launch. And this is where it becomes tricky. You see, it's also when you look at DEX liquidity. I mean, how many new DEXs do we need? Because some of the other decentralized exchanges, liquidity providers, such as Compound, Maker, Synthetics, Curve, Aave, they're already there, right? So the way that I see it, but I can be completely wrong. I think that every ecosystem, like, you know, Cardano or Polkadot, they'll probably need one main decentralized exchange, 1 or 2 liquidity providers, 1 or 2 wallet providers. But you don't need, we're never gonna, I mean, just look at today, how many banks do we have in the world? Like 100 years ago, we had, I don't know, 10 million banks. And now in the US, it's like 10 banks, right? That's just the trend. So that's why I believe that the DeFi fever is over. You gotta only go in now and buy quality over quantity. But anyway, this was a little off topic. I tried the Yorai wallet once and made a video. I think that I used it at that time. It's okay. So anyway, decentralized exchanges, wallets, and then here we got lots of DeFi coins. You also got to be careful here, because a lot of these projects, there are some bad apples, you know, behind. There are some people, just like when we had the .com bubble, they think, you know, we can make a quick buck, so let's just put a white paper together. Let's say we're going to launch it, and then they're going to go to, you know, some of these PokerStarter or Kickstarter, and then they're going to, you know, be part of an ICO, and then they're going to put lots of coin in the right pocket, lots of coin in the left pocket, in the back pocket, and then adios, and then they leave. So be careful, right? Quality over quantity. So there's a lot here. Infrastructure here. Infrastructure, I think there's a lot of potential, not only in Cardano, but all over. I'm not really going to look into these in today's video, right, and all of them, but you should go and look yourself. So infrastructure coins, what they do, that's like an Oracle, like Chainlink, that they provide prices and weather and data from the real world onto the blockchain. Infrastructure is also in order, it's cloud, you know, cloud storage. And it is very much, and you need, this is really what I have to hammer the message. Decentralized personal identification on the blockchain. I'm sure that will be the next thing. You got to put a lot of those coins, and they're so cheap, so cheap, so cheap. Anyway, that's for portfolio update in 2 months. Then launchpads. Look at these bastards I was talking about. The launchpads, right? Look how many launchpads. You also know that's actually like stock exchanges. You can compare them to, right? Also there we can see in the world how many main stock exchanges do we have. So Cardano ecosystem is not going to need all of them. They're not. Here I also think 1 or 2 will probably be the main ones, like everywhere. This is not about monopoly, it's also about efficiency and what you actually really need. And then the payments and stable coins. Here it's also going to be, again, difficult. I think that every ecosystem will probably have one major stable coin. I think the global USD stable coin will probably be USDC. I mean, US, you know, is a big currency, right? So there's also space for USDT and and BUSD. But I do think that the USDC is probably going to be the main one. Then I believe that each ecosystem is going to have their main stable coin. Like in Polkadot and Karura, it is the AUSD, right? So here maybe also 1 or 2 stable coins. Then of course there can always be some other players that will issue a stable coin. But that's why it's going to be challenging to find the right ones. Here in this cycle, it's not going to be I don't know if in traditional worlds, they would say you can put a blind monkey and he can throw darts and everything will go up. I believe that the third cycle, many things have gone down already. A lot of things are not going to recover. So here it's not a blind monkey that can just choose any of these coins and get rich. Shit coins are over. Quality over quantity. And that's what I say. Community DAOs. That's something that I still haven't really figured out. I still really haven't figured out what it is. The way that I see it, a community and a DAO is nothing else than when you go to a lawyer and you want to, I try to compare it with traditional world, right? Where you go to a lawyer and you want to try to, set up a company. And should that now be a limited holding, or should it be a public listed share company? Is the structure. So, these are like, who needs this amount of protocols that's going to issue a DAO? That's just like when the British Virgin Islands, they were selling or setting up their tax evasion companies, right? It took an hour, right? Even with the fax and the email. So here it's going to be a lot quicker. You're not going to really need them. But maybe there's something I haven't that I don't really understand here. So let me know there. I would like to be lectured on that. Then developer tools. That's also important. That's obviously every blockchain, not every, but most of them, they have different programming languages. Now this becomes a little more complicated, and I don't know so much about programming. Ivan on tech, he knows a whole shit. He knows a thing or two about programming, right? So that would be a good candidate, listening to Ivan on tech on what he thinks, what the future languages are going to be, and in that segment. Social, I think that's important. But can you imagine that Pixel Page and Guagle and Somi and Shimi and Clanity and Goki and Smart Places Protocol, they're all gonna rival Twitter, even though that's a shit company. Facebook Meta, well, even though that's a shit company. What else do we have left? Telegram, I think, is okay. So maybe there, maybe in the social aspect there is space for something decentralized. Then, I need another Bahama Mama moment. It's all them frogs there, huh? Oh. I think you can just enjoy Africa for a second.
Hello Africa, tell me how you doing. Hello motherland, tell me how you doing. Hello Africa, tell me how you doing. Hello motherland, tell me how you doing.
Puff puff. So what we all need is staking, right? And you can actually stake your Cardanos. I do it on Binance. It's not always been so lucrative. Well, it has been lucrative, but you could find higher staking rewards other places. Anyway, I'm not gonna go through this and this is a little bit technical. So for people that don't know too much about it, how can I try to describe this very basic? Either you can run a node yourself and then you earn the highest, but then you're going to have technical knowledge, or you can delegate it. And this is not for today's video. But we have to thank Dima, because he and Cherry, they put in all these nice slides. So let's read them quickly. Step 1, you delegate Cardano to a stake pool. First, you ensure that you hold your Cardano on a Cardano compatible wallet like Delus, Uroid, Nami, Eternal, Typhon, all of them. Then you find a pool that you want to delegate to using the staking tab on your wallet, or use one of the many community websites. It's actually not so difficult when you know it, but if you're going to go through that jungle yourself for the first time, not on Cardano specific, everywhere on the blockchain. Anyway, the second step is that you stake confirmation and activation. So staking rewards are automatically distributed within 20 to 25 days if your chosen pool produces blocks. Now your question is, how do I know if my pool is going to produce blocks, right? Not for this video. Anyway, time in Cardano is split into 5-day periods called epochs. Delegation needs to be registered 5 days before the start of a block producing epoch to generate rewards. These rewards are automatically distributed 10 days after the end of the epoch they were earned in. Okay. Let me know, you guys, is this simple? Is this, not the way that I'm describing, but staking and getting your head around that is slightly complicated, right? Now we move on to the third step, earning rewards for participating in the Cardano network. So Cardano's proof of stake consensus mechanism, Ouroboros, calculates, I like that, Ouroboros, calculates your rewards during subsequent epochs according to the pool's return on stake and the amount of Cardano staked. Staking rewards are automatically distributed every 5 days as long as the pool produces blocks. Those block producing things are important, because if you get a pool that doesn't really produce any blocks, you don't get no coins in your right pocket, which would be automatically distributed every 5 days. So while you can withdraw these rewards at any time, you can also wait until it's convenient to do so without foregoing any reward. So there's some lockup periods, basically what they're saying. So the step 4 is the benefits of staking Cardano via Cardano compatible wallets. And that's what I just wanted to point out. You can go to Binance, that's what I do. And I just stake my Cardano there. Or not mine, I don't own anything and I'm happy. But Kitty's Cardano, Kitty's ADA tokens, I do it there. There I generate around 2% per annum less than if I go and do it directly. And I don't always do it like that for Kitty, but in this sense, those 2% I find a well saved time. Anyway, that's how I look at it. So, but there are benefits. 2% is 2%. It's more than 2% difference. You don't even get 2% on some of the U.S. government bonds anymore. We're not even talking about the dollar. Anyway, so the benefits of staking via the Cardano compatible wallets are that staking is liquid on Cardano. When delegating through Cardano native wallets, you can withdraw your stake or move it to another pool at any time. So there's no lockup, right? That is important in crypto generally. Lockup, because a lot of volatility. You don't want to be locked up if your coin all of a sudden goes, to the all-time high, and then you got a 3 months lockup period, right? And by the time you get your coins, it's down 80%. That happened to me with one coin. Not with one coin, but a coin, I forgot the name, but so I'm not too much. Unless you're in a period like now or a year ago, that's when you want to lock them up in the bear market, but not in the bull market. So all Cardano native tokens have a minimum amount of Cardano attached to them, independent of the token's value. This allows you to delegate your CNTs, Cardano, and to take part in initial stake pool offerings that reward you with a specific project's tokens for delegating to predetermined pools. Now, this is actually highly interesting what you can do there, because this is almost like you can participate like in these, PokerStarter and Gamify and all these launch platforms, because what you can actually do is that you can stake in a new protocol, in a new project that's going to launch, and you will already receive, and if that's going to be a high flyer, you just get those coins basically for free. So step 5 is that you review your delegated stake pool. Ultimately, staking is about validating that pools operate correctly. Check if the pool generates blocks regularly by using the same community sites mentioned in step 1. If the pool gets saturated, you might want to delegate to another pool. Now, you guys, you probably know why I'm going through this and not showing, right? Because usually I like to show how I do. Well, that's because, as this little channel here, the littlest channel on the interweb, we are also progressing. So there's going to be, we're going to make our streams more dedicated. So there's going to be one Cardano stream per week, one Polkadot stream per week, one hopefully cryptocurrency portfolio stream per week, and one geopolitical stream per view. So we're going to try to, have one topic per stream. So of course we're going to try and do this all together, going through all these lovely 5 steps of staking Kitty's Cardano tokens. Guys, I think that's enough for today. Right now we got, there's still some Cardano news. I'm going to run over them because I still have some things that I want to go through. So I don't want to go so much over these. These are more generics. Maybe we can do that tomorrow or something. What I did want to point out, and that is that slide that I was speaking about in the beginning. If we want to compare a little bit Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot, who we should bet on and what's the difference? Well, run through the numbers. We can see Ethereum has a market cap of almost 160 billion. On the second place, Cardano with 14.5 billion, Solana with 11, and then we got Polkadot with 7 billion. It's the current market cap. It's going to be a thing that's a little bit more difficult, but it's very relevant. That is, on which chain we're talking about, the base layer, the chain, right? Ethereum is a chain, is a base layer. Solana is the chain and the base layer. Cardano is its own chain and base layer. Polkadot. So these are the different chains, base layers, and also ecosystems, right? And blockchains. So now we know, and they all have their native tokens. It will get a little complicated, but they all have the native tokens. And so when we calculate the market cap of all of these, we take, for example, with Ethereum, we take the amount of coins times the current price, and that's how we get the market cap. Now, because this is the future of finance is being built right in front of our eyes, and this also has a little bit to do with how we're going to value, how we're going to identify quantity over quality for the future. We will do that by looking at the number of protocols. And I'm also not 100% sure that I'm using the right term. Is it number of protocols or number of projects? So we're going to go through this together. So how many protocols have there already been issued on Ethereum? Well, 567, 81 on Solana, only 12 currently on Cardano, and 179 on Polkadot. So here we can see that clearly Cardano is lacking. But then you probably, a logic question would be, yeah, but what about those pages that you showed me? About all those liquidity and wallets and infrastructure and DeFi and marketplaces and lending and borrowing and stable coins and launchpads. Why are you now saying there are only 12 protocols? Well, that's because all those 400 projects are in the pipeline, haven't been implemented yet. That's where, and we all know that Cardano just recently is up to date. So that's why we are not doing a lot of business on Cardano. And therefore, Polkadot has 179. So here we see in terms of protocols, Ethereum number 1, Polkadot number 2, Solana, and then Cardano. And this is where we could see a potential, there's a potential, we're going to see a lot of new protocols, projects launch on Cardano, where we probably, if I were to look at a launch pad for the next cycle, that would probably be in the Cardano ecosystem. Now we go down to the number of projects, and I wanna share. I think we should go in and look, because there's a page that is called DeFi Llama. I hope you know it, because DeFi Llama, they give you a very good. Let's go over there. Boom, and then we need to find DeFi Llama. I don't know if I opened it. You know me, it wouldn't be me if there was not a little moment of you and I. But anyway, it's also good. Then you can see, you go into DeFi Llama, and maybe you actually want to look at me here now. So I'll be here. Wait, I'll make sure I'm here. Boom, here I am, a little bigger than usual. No, so you go into DeFi Llama, and there you can go in and compare and see how much money is logged in, how many protocols, and it's important. So you go in here, you go up here in the left corner, you press chains. Then you can see the total value logged in on all chains. You can also, obviously the blue is Ethereum, right? That probably went without saying. And then you can go down here and you can look at all protocols, all projects, non-EVM, that means non-Ethereum virtual machines, or Ethereum virtual machines. And then there's some other things. I want to go ahead and press on EVM, Ethereum virtual machines. So we can see here total value. Anyway, let's just look. So these are all protocols that are built on Ethereum, but in some sense and in some way they are still independent, but not really. I'm gonna show what I. Let me just take this one away. So we gotta go back now to the presentation. Let me know if this is a little complicated or you get it, because it is actually very important. So remember here, we're looking at the number of protocols, 567, and number of projects, 2,883. So now we go back to DeFi Llama. So you see the 567 that you see here next to Ethereum, right? But actually, Binance Smart Chain is a project actually built on Ethereum. Avalanche is a project built on Ethereum. Polygon is a project built on Ethereum. Arbitrum, Optimism, Phantom, they are all more or less projects. They are built on Ethereum. So that is why it makes Ethereum so massive. And that is also why it really irritates me when people say that Bitcoin is the most dominant and Ethereum only 17%. That's just not true when you look at it like that. Anyway, in case this is a little bit complicated, it will become simpler. So here we see Ethereum virtual machines. There is a lot of them. There's 561. However, each of these protocols can then have X amount of projects that are building on them. It will become simpler. Now we go back to the presentation and let's look at Cardano for that matter. Cardano has 14 billion in market cap. They have only 12 protocols. Now that's something that we can relate to, right? 12. So we don't need to look at so many numbers. So we go back. Sorry guys, with my screen here. That's why I'm a little slow here. Cannot switch as I should. So we go over here. Now we want to find all or non-EVM. And then we go in and look for Cardano. Oh no, we just protocols. Then we go in and look at Cardano. Where do we have Cardano? Down here, they only have 12, so they're here. Then we press on Cardano. And then here we can see all the projects that have been built, right? We got MinSwap, Wingrider, Sunday Swap, Muesli Swap, and that just goes to 12. Whereas we had, but some of these, they can also launch more projects so that it can be an increasing number. However, so if these 12 working, which are not so many, protocols, there is currently in Cardano locked in $75 million. Now that is not the world, we have to say, right? I hope you understand this little slide here of ours. 75 million. How much is locked in on Ethereum? 31 billion. 31 billion on Ethereum. On Solana, there are 81 protocols, 500 projects, and total value locked in 1.3 billion. Cardano again 75 only. And then we got Polkadot with 179 protocols, 513 projects. Not all running, but 179, and these are the auctions that are, that are being launched on Polkadot, and they have total value locked in on Polkadot, and Kusama for that matter, right? 287 million. So what does this go to show? Well, it goes to show that Cardano really, really has a lot of potential, because they are going to have all those dexes and all those coins coming out. I do believe the third cycle is going to be Cardano's cycle. And that's all I got to say about that. One more time. So yeah, I think we go into the chit chat and then I think we chatted enough today, right? So guys, let me know if you enjoyed it. And this was a pretty long stream. It was almost an hour. I could be going on. There's a lot more information, but I think we keep that up for next week's Cardano stream. So let me know if you like that we're going to have one Cardano stream, one Polkadot stream, one, Ethereum is all over the place. And we're not going to do a specific Solana stream. Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum, and hopefully also, cryptocurrency portfolio update and geopolitical in the form of investors' reality. Future of Cardano, I mean, oh yeah. That was good, Dylan, that you asked me that, because There was this other article that I just wanted to point out. Now, this could be the death for Cardano, or it could be the savior for Cardano. And it's this article that was actually 2 days ago. And it was Charles Hoskinson that came out and really said he doesn't like CBDCs. And I mean, I want to say, what a lovely fella, what a sexy looking fella. Because we all know that the CBDCs, they belong somewhere. They don't belong in our society. It's a control mechanism. So I would, you see, this is a huge benefit. See, this could break Cardano. Because if the future of finance is really going to be programmable CBDCs, then, you know, Charles and Cardano, they took the shorter. But if we're really going to fight, and the people has to win, that we will win, we are hopefully going to live in a world of democracy, of freedom of speech, and freedom of capitalism, and lots of love, then a decentralized Cardano blockchain could really be the savior. So maybe so that is a risk, but it's also huge potential reward if he can, because he is at least now, you know, Gavin Wood from Polkadot. First, he was all about decentralization. Then he got invited to World Economic Forum, and then he came back and said, "Yeah, you know, regulation and so on is maybe not. Is it maybe a good thing, you know?" So here we got, and that's what I like. Charles, he cannot be bought. Charles Hoskinson, Cardano founder, does not like central bank digital currencies, and that's all I got to say about that. I mean, I don't know shit about it, but it was a good question. So that's how I would answer it. But to everything in life, there's a pro and risk reward. When Nico Coin, yeah, we got so many coins, right? We don't need no Nico Coin. We need you and I, and we need lots of love. So I'm gonna end this, and thank you so much, Vax. Thank you. I wanna just tell you that you need to love yourself first, and this whole project, this YouTube channel of mine here, is only because I want to share. I do want to do something good. Until now, I've been surprised that I've been able to foresee the future of finance so good. And thank the good Lord, because I only have good intentions. I don't earn on this YouTube. I don't promote any leverage the platforms. So the good Lord or karma or whatever has given me, you know, the vision, the view to look at the right things. But I do this for sharing. I do this because when you write me, when you come and watch me, also when you give me negative criticism, I mean, this is my currency. My currency is not recognition, but that we do this together. I hope I can help you. So don't forget, love yourself first, because only if you love yourself first, you can, you know, other people. You can love other people, and people can love you. I think that's the way it goes. See you soon. I love you so much. And I love Cardano, and thank God there is somebody like Charles in this world.
It's a real revolution in terms of investment banking and finance in general. I think that the cryptocurrencies will have become the greatest innovation of the last 500 to 1,000 years since the invention of banking and the invention of the printing press. That'd just be an amazing future to live in.
Cardano explicitly intends to become the most decentralized cryptocurrency blockchain in existence.